being held. This meeting is being conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Yeah. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement, the Cape May Star and Wave on the Township website and posted on the bulletin boards of Township Hall.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We are going to be led this evening by Girl Scout Troop 45296 in the pledge. The co-leaders are Chandy Ankrum, Dawn Larkin, and Tina Malgram. Ladies, take it away.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. And we'll do the thing with the TV.
Councilmember Conrad?
Here.
Councilmember Perry?
Here.
Councilmember Simonson?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Here.
Mayor Beck?
Here. Thank you for coming in, team. Now, if you wish, you can step forward and say your name and say what school you're from, because you're going to be on TV, and you'll be famous after this evening. Okay, people will come from miles around to see you on TV. So go ahead. Who's going to lead? Come on. Go ahead. Your name and what grade are you in? Go ahead. This won't hurt.
My name is Brenna Cassidy from Titleman School, and I want to say hi to Miss Merlino.
Okay. That should get you a pass on homework.
Hello, my name is Lily Zuzlak. I am in 5th grade, and I go to Cape Trinity Catholic.
Okay, there you go. Somebody better lift this one up. Don't tell me you're in 8th grade.
My name is Michaela Lee. I am from Maud Abrams School, and I want to say hi to my mom.
Okay, that's a good one.
My name is Erin Larkin, and I'm from Titleman. I'm in 8th grade, and I would like to say hi to my nephew, Michael.
There you go.
My name is Victoria Schultz. I am in 7th grade. I go to Titleman, and I'd like to say hi to my mom and my teacher, Mr. Diallo.
Very good.
My name is Ava Lighty. I go to Titleman School, and I'd like to say hi to my mom and dad.
There you go. This is worth the price of admission right now. Come on, dearest. Come on. What's your name? Give her a hand.
Hi, my name is Danny Ankrum. I go to Cape Christian Academy. I'm in 8th grade, and I would like to say hi to my teacher, Mr. Dixon.
Hi.
Tandy, what's the name of the young lady the giggle lady?
Sophia Malgram.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. You did a great job. We appreciate your coming down to help us.
Future councilman.
Take care. Okay, before we get to the consent agenda on the work session this evening, we have one of those joyous moments. We're losing Officer Darren Hickok. He's retiring. I have to read his proclamation as soon as I uncover it from all the papers I have up here. But he's been a friend to all of us in government, a friend to a lot of people, but mostly a true friend to a lot of kids that have gone through the school where he's a resource officer. Let me read his proclamation. Whereas Darren began his career with the Lower Township Police Department in September 1995, he became a certified New Jersey school resource officer and New Jersey DARE instructor in 2003, and later became certified to teach internet safety, cyberbullying to elementary and middle school students. Whereas Darren earned certification as a bicycle patrol officer and the first Lower Township motorcycle patrol officer. In 2013, Darren was awarded the New Jersey State DARE Officer of the Year out of 1,700 certified DARE instructors, and later became certified to instruct LEAD, which is Law Enforcement Against Drugs, to elementary and middle school students. Very good. Darren has represented the Lower Township Police Department in the local Christmas parade for 14 years and has volunteered for charitable programs such as Kids Christmas, Mat Stocking, and the local food drive. Now, therefore, it is with great pleasure that I, Michael E. Beck, and the Lower Township Council do hereby congratulate Darren Hickok on his retirement from law enforcement and wish him much success in all his future endeavors. Excellent. Would you come on up so we can present you with this? Guys. Next comes the beard, right?
Now, we did have a retirement thing for us, so there was a lot more speeches prior to this, so we don't want to get too into it. Yeah, it's all good. All right, buddy. All right, thank you.
Okay. And last but not least, we have the proclamation supporting the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over 2015 year-end holiday crackdown. Whereas impaired drivers on our nation's roads kill more than 10,000 people each year and cost our society more than $37 billion annually. Whereas 27% of motor vehicle fatalities in New Jersey in 2013 were alcohol-related. Whereas an enforcement crackdown is planned to combat impaired driving. The season at the end of the year is traditionally a time of social gatherings, which often include alcohol. Whereas the State of New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety has asked law enforcement agencies throughout the state to participate in the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over year-end holiday crackdown. The project will involve increased impaired driving enforcement from December 11th through January 1st. An increase in impaired driving enforcement and a reduction in impaired driving will save lives on our roadways. Be it is resolved, the Township of Lower declares its support for the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over 2015 year-end holiday crackdown from December 11th through January 1 and pledges to increase awareness of the dangers of drinking and driving. Thank you. We have to read that, right? It's a lot of fun. All right, we move down to the consent agenda. Anybody that wishes to comment from council can do so.
Mayor, regarding Resolution 2015-356, I was wondering if any, given we received, all of us on council received 3 letters today regarding concern about this, could we have any interest in putting this off till next week for further discussion?
This is for, I'm not interested because this is just for the access points, including the villas, and our permit to go onto the beaches to do maintenance on our outfall pipes. That's all this is.
No, this is the public access with the gravel foundation and.
Or certain places to make it more sturdy and safer for the people.
And then split fencing, right? Rail fencing?
Snow fencing.
No, it's not snow fencing, I
I
don't
think
think.
that they said right now it's currently snow fest.
It's currently now snow fencing. They want to,
Get something a little bit better to make it a little bit, so we're not having to maintain it as much, possibly keep the sand back from it.
right, so this is, I figured 19,000 plus a $30,000 permit, maybe $50,000 to design this. The residents are concerned about, I guess I have some questions about it, so I wanted to see if we
If
could,
you have questions, please ask.
if I could get any interest in at least moving it off the consent agenda into the regular agenda.
Deputy Mayor, can I weigh in on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first off, with regards to the beach maintenance permit, we'll take them one at a time, but the beach maintenance permit, currently our beach maintenance permit has expired, so we need to get a permit going into the new year. In the event that we had a storm in January, we'd be waiting for that permit to get on the beach with equipment. This is strictly cleaning, this is raking, and you're right, it does involve the rollouts. We don't want to use them anymore because of the slippery nature of those and a lawsuit that we had to handle. So now, as far as the beach access is concerned, we received input from a lot of different areas, and in talking with Public Works, Hatchmont, and the rec department, and going to other towns and looking what they're doing, there's a uniformity in these towns. You look at one beach entrance, it looks like another beach entrance. And with that being said, gravel, post and rails, because what happened this summer, even with the snow fencing that we had, there were still too many people that were wandering into those dunes. So with the uniform access, it won't be 3 or 4 streets. We're going to start at Lincoln and go through the villas. So each entrance will look the same,
Right.
professionally done.
A 30,
Also, along with that, if I can add in there, in August, I've attended down in Cape May Convention Hall. They had a Dune is Right seminar for municipalities, OEM people, public works, environmentalists, and so on and so forth, that gave the seminar basically about how to preserve your dunes, how to protect your dunes, and how to also provide proper beach access for everybody to get onto the beach. And I attended that, and one of the things that they had pointed out, that there's a few communities within Cape May County that are basically the shining star with meeting all the requirements for DEP and also getting safe beach access down there. Along with that, one thing being in emergency services for the time that I have been and still involved in order to get emergency personnel onto the beach for someone that may have a coronary or maybe a drowning victim or whatever it may be, the beach accesses that we have right now are, at least in Ward 2 in the North Cape May area, they can't use them. There's only really 1 to 2 beach accesses in the whole North Cape May area that the emergency services can use, and that's Lincoln Boulevard and Emerson Avenue. So if someone in between or someone down further, they can't even get to them. And I don't know what, in Ward 1 up in the Villas, I don't know what their accesses are like either.
Walking.
But, I believe that they need to be proper beach access provided, not just for the people to get down on the beach, but also for emergency services people to be able to get down and do their jobs on the beach. And that's year round. It has to do, in the wintertime, you get snow and ice out in the bay, and how many times are the kids out there on the ice, and, you could have a possible problem down there. You have to be able to gain access to be able to get down there.
absolutely.
And that's what we're looking at. And I believe that when I first heard what was going on with this, that if we could find a way to do it in-house or do as much as we can in-house without going out to a contractor to do this work, we're saving taxpayers money. We're providing the proper beach access for our people, and we're also saving taxpayers' dollars by not, going with a major elaborate scheme, but staying within the scheme or the other beach accesses that are in the county that are well recognized.
And with-
Avalon being one of them.
And without the permit, the DEP will not authorize any permits to do work down there. For example, let's just say we had a problem with an outfall pipe. They won't look at any of this until we have a permit. So
Right.
we need to get a permit.
Well, the permit expires when, the end of the month?
It already has expired. I think
Well,
it just
This
expired
is
like
you know,
after
Jim,
the summer.
It's not what we're doing, being honest. It's how, in the sense that, I'm not sure, it's a good chance I support this concept, but what I'm saying is that we've got people out there that are concerned and they start shooting emails at the last second. And are we communicating with them? That's more than anything what I'm trying to say is that, when you start getting this, and we've been through it with this before, and it's kind of a sticky wicket down there with the dunes.
Well, I was at a Lower Township Rec Advisory Board meeting, and I went for informational purposes to find out, what was going on or what was being planned or what had been planned in the past. And there were members of the township residents that were there. I believe there were members of the SOS group, Save Our Shores or whatever, that were there. And a lot of the information they had was wrong, number one, and I found out that night also. And I spoke to one of my constituents on Friday, as a matter of fact, that has to do with access to the beach. And, I didn't realize it. For instance, somebody mentioned something about putting a boat ramp in Emerson Avenue or something of that nature. Nothing calls for that, and nothing was even discussed about that, other than that's where the fire companies launched their jet ski to make water rescues. That, that is the area they access, the only one they can.
Real quick.
Since we're talking about it, let's
We're on-
make
real
sure.
quick, I hate to interrupt. Just the consent, if you want to move it to the regular agenda, that way we can have a full discussion and get on with the consent.
I think we should.
That way,
I think we should.
okay, no problem.
Good, thank
We'll
you.
move that off.
Okay, is there any other council comments or questions on the consent agenda? Okay. First of all, did you move that off?
Yes.
Okay. And what one, what's your number, Zach?
356.
Second to last.
Okay, is there any public comment on the consent agenda? Minus 356. Close the public portion.
Approval of minutes, November 22, 2015. Resolutions number 2015-335 through 2015-355 and 2015-357.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2015-356, a resolution approving a professional service contract with Hatchmont McDonald for the New Jersey DEP beach maintenance permit and design of beach access path upgrades. This is in the amount of $19,850.
Well, if you want to continue council discussion, but if we get an opportunity, is there anybody here from the public that has a comment on this? All right, just hold on a second till we see if council, like I said, it's, I just wish that we would somehow, maybe at a prior meeting, especially when you have these kinds of issues, say, well, this is our intent at the next meeting to discuss this. Because I guess somebody must have seen this online and we got hit with I got 3 emails probably in the last hour or two. And it's just a matter, and the only issue I have is giving the public a chance to comment on this and not putting ourselves into a position that we have been in prior situations where they feel left out.
So what we're saying is that we've together with Hatchmont have identified between Douglas Park and Ocean Avenue 30 beach access points which are of concern to us. And in many of these access areas, we roll out these kind of ramps,
A
right?
few of them, we do.
We roll out the ramps. We've determined for various reasons that they've become unsafe. And so we've got a problem. So it sounds like we've already come up with what we think is a solution to this problem, and that includes laying down gravel. And I'm not clear whether the gravel, whether sand goes on top of the gravel or whether people are going to be walking on gravel. That's one of the concerns that they have. You know, are you going to make us walk on gravel, or are we walking on sand? But there's a gravel bed that's going to be part of the solution. And then you're going to demarc the dunes with a split rail fence, which has been determined is better than what is, than the snow fencing, which is currently permitted by the DEP. But it's not conducive to what we want. We don't think it's the best answer. And since we don't have a comprehensive beach access plan that's approved by the DEP, we're going to have to get special approval for this particular plan. That's part of what we're asking Hatchmont
No.
to do. Mike, which part
I
was wrong?
don't, it's, what this is our permit to work on the beach for beach maintenance overall, including the outfall pipes and anything that happens during a storm, if we had to move something or go down to the beaches. And second, it's to come up with a plan. You're telling what the plan is, but from what I'm reading here, it's to make a design and come and bring it to council to say, here's your option
Yeah.
of a
But if you read the letter, what it's basically saying is that we've decided that this current thing is unsafe, and we've decided we would like to have gravel bed. And so it sounds to me like they're going to come back with a design for a gravel bed solution with split rail fences. And that's because what we've decided we wanted to do. And our point is if we're going to, you know, we would be smart, given the history we've had with interest about beach access along here, to explain to folks, here's the problem. 30 places are not correct. We've got unsafe conditions here. We need a solution. Step one, okay. We've looked at the different solutions that shore towns have used along the coast. This is one of the viable solutions. And explain to folks, you know, what the gravel bed means.
Yeah, we had a beach access plan, but it was totally destroyed a couple of years ago.
Well, I have a question.
Well, the beach access plan is what, since we don't have that approved, which is, that's why we have to,
Well,
we have to get.
could we separate, and David have to answer this, can we approve, like tonight, the permit application, but then hold in abeyance at least until the next meeting for comment, in case public comment on the other portion of it? I mean, that would seem to solve the problem, because then you get your permit before the end of the year, whatever.
There's going to be
And-
public
and-
comment required in the process of getting this approved. So
I'm sorry.
The technical answer is yes.
Okay. All right, well.
The short answer is yes.
But I mean, that would seem to be kind of fair, because we need, you know, I mean, if we're up against the clock in getting the permit for the beach, you know, in case we get hit with a storm and stuff like that, why not submit that and then get the people the opportunity to comment on the second part of it? Would council see fit to do something like that?
My only concern with that is that what's probably going to happen is nothing will get done. And we're going to end up back in the summertime,
What happened last
same issue we
spring?
have now.
This
and
isn't the
nothing's gonna
first
be-
time this has happened. If you would think back to last April, what happened is the sand blew all over down by Roseanne Avenue,
Right.
a couple of those
Roosevelt,
streets.
I know.
So we had to get into an emergency situation, so we'd have the beaches and those walkways able to open for Memorial Day weekend. And we did it. We were able to get equipment in there because there were some severe slopes there, and that's something that hasn't been discussed either. On the same token, now we're trying to be proactive and say, let's not pick 4 streets or 6 streets, when in essence, we don't know which ones are going to get the most degraded this winter. So we're just trying to get a plan for that as far as getting people to the beach. safely. That's it.
And I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying is that we really haven't given people the opportunity to comment on it. And this is
We haven't even presented, the problem clearly, and we certainly haven't presented our solution so that folks can understand what it is that we're seeking to do. So that-
I think, though, if we pass the resolution tonight, it gives the opportunity for the design to start. I mean, we can have open communication with the public, and the public should have their input into what the finished product is going to look like and how it's going to affect the beach or the dunes or so on and so forth. I get that. But I think that we need to start the ball rolling to get the design process going so we can actually come up with a solution by the time we're into spring, that something could be remedied by the time summer
Well,
gets
I
here.
don't think a
This is not the
2-week
final
delay
vote.
is something that's of
This is not-
extraordinary.
2-week delay then ends up being a 4-week delay, then ends
No,
up being a
we put it on the
6-week delay.
agenda for the next meeting, and you vote for it at the next meeting, and perhaps I might vote for it.
This is the
I mean,
first
I'm
step.
just
That's all
saying,
this is.
I'm saying you can get the permit done, we can pass that part of it and get that out, and then push the other part out for the next meeting, and then
just-
if people want to come and comment, they can, but they feel like they were part of the
Yeah,
process.
it shows residents that we wanted some input on what we were doing.
And
at
which
least-
we could still do. This is just to get them moving. Then we could have the public input.
Yeah.
To have this and have them, the engineering firm
Well-
present it at a public meeting, what they have, so we could have public input of what this is, and all this is to access. I'm thrilled, I'm thrilled with this because we're finally addressing the access in the villas. We're going to fix some of the paths in the villas. We're going to make them easier for people to get to the beach. They've been ignored a long time. Now we're finally getting that to where we could get some access and make it safe for everyone, because this has already been proven a liability for the township. Let's get the plan rolling. We can have public input. This is not setting in stone. It's going in tomorrow.
Well,
It's-
actually, it is being set in stone because the plan.
This is not like.
The plan is to
plan
put stone, gravel, that's the plan. And I want to understand
Would
what-
you like,
how
would you
that's
like,
going to work.
would you like a couple answers on the stone issue
Yes,
tonight?
sir.
Because we have people here that can comment.
That'd be great.
Okay, well, Mr. Douglas or Mr. Maury, would either of you like to comment on the,
We'll open up.
on the gravel? And the safety issue of why we're trying to do this uniform?
Thank you.
When we say gravel, it's not stone. It's not, round stone there. It's like a road bed you would put down before you would pave. It just makes it so you can drive a vehicle on it, but they're not going to be walking on stone. And the only other thing, I listened to a couple of the answers up here. The snow fencing isn't a viable fencing anymore for beach accesses because it builds sand. So what happens, then you come with the humps and everything. So I went up with Mitch Plen, this is his project, up to Avalon. And they're one of the model towns with their beach accesses. And they're about 8 feet wide. They got post and rail, and they got a gravel roadbed. They all face the same direction. I think it would be southwest here, so you don't get the wind coming up and blowing the sand up the beach pass, into the street and stuff. So that's what this is all about. Right now, we do not have a beach maintenance permit. So if something happens on that beach, we either got to call and get emergency, and that's, that was just a slip in. There was an extension that between myself and Mitch that we didn't realize didn't pertain to us, so it was actually expired. So, and talking with the state and everything, and talking with Steve Morey from Hatchmont, the DEP thought it'd be a good idea to put this all in the same package. You get the approval. It's just to show what we want to do. I believe this whole project's in the recreation's capital budget, so it's not like, we're going to do it tomorrow, but we need to get moving on it, and that's the whole thing. It's to get this safety factor to make the slope right. Now we're going like this. Some of them are real steep, and it's to make them all look uniform.
All right, well, we'll open it up. I think some other people, did you want to speak? And John, and let's identify Name and town, please.
Hi, my name is Susan Jacobs. I live on Beach Drive in North Cape May. My family's owned property there since 1946. We've seen a lot of beach come and go over the years. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So we've seen a lot of beach come and go over the years. We were here for the storm of '62 when half the road was washed away. I have a couple of concerns that I'd like to share, and I know we're not going to get answers today, but I'd just like everyone to think about them. First of all, the preservation of the dunes is foremost. The Bayfront Beach is natural and wild, and it needs to remain that way to support the ecosystem that lives there. Rail fences will allow the sand to blow through and land on the path. That will require more maintenance. Gravel is hard on human and canine feet, and I know the gentleman who spoke said it won't be gravel, but that's what's in the proposal. There's no clear communication to the public. I only learned of this today at about 11 a.m. Mr. Conrad thought this was something completely different than what I read in the proposal, so there's no clear communication among the council. It's an at-your-own-risk beach. There has never been any cleaning of the beach. There has never been any guarding of the beach. I've been cleaning that beach for 50 years in front of my home. My other concern is that you bring this up in December when a lot of residents have flown south for the winter. That does not give them a voice. Why are we not enforcing the laws that are in place already? Why not use non-skid rollouts instead of gravel? There's a huge difference between the bayfront and the oceanfront in Avalon. I've watched sand blow up on the road for years. And how many emergencies were responded to on the bayfront this past year? Does anybody know? I understand and support the need to provide emergency services, but again, how many were responded to? How many were called in? Okay. And I'll just make one final comment. Could we please remember our men in blue and gray who served on December 7th in Pearl Harbor, our soldiers who are away now, those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and who have come home and are living a life they could never have imagined. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John?
John Skronsky, 607 Arctic Avenue. I live a couple blocks from the beach, and I get down there quite often. Now, in this proposal that I read just today, it says that the paths are going to be 8 feet wide. Now, right now, most of the paths, at least in North Cape May, are only 3-4 feet wide. If we're going to make these paths wider, I think we're going to accumulate more sand in wintertime especially, and I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. And the stone's going to get covered with sand eventually. How are you going to clean the sand off the stone? And like I said, the paths right now are fine. Also, in Stone Harbor, the beach there is a very, very mild slope. So you can get away with stuff like that. But here, in the wintertime, you can get a 2 or 3 foot drop from the sand and the changing with the tides. So how are you going to what are you going to fill sand in there where there's drop-offs? How are you going to handle the drop-offs? Because they change all the time. They go away and they come. They go away and they come.
I know they do. We spent a lot of time, and we were able to make Roseanne an access. There wasn't an access in April, and if you go there now, it's bad again. There are accesses right now that are bad, so I don't disagree with the changing from season to season. And I know there were some severe slopes right down to areas I went down in the Villas where there could be a 2-foot drop off. And all of these areas are safety issues. All of them.
I don't
And-
see what you can do about that.
Well,
There's nothing you can do about that.
If we ignore them, we're
Sand
liable.
just changes. And also the paths, the 8-foot wide paths concern me because you're going to have a lot of more open space at each access, and you're going to build up more sand in there. And how are you going to clean the sand off the gravel? And that's my concern. That's all I have to
Okay.
say.
Does anybody else wish to comment? This gentleman straight back here.
Vince Grimm, 3205 Shore Drive in what is sometimes known as the Cape May Beach area. I've lived on my sand dune since 1966, and I'm one property removed from the beach entrance at springtime. The paths there right now are the depth of a lot, which is 125 feet, as opposed to the beach entrances in the in North Cape May or in the wider beaches in the upper end of the villas. At springtime, the peak now already from the street to the beach could possibly be 12 feet high. So when you stand at the street, you cannot see the bay. You have to walk up and then walk down. We talked about snow fencing. I've asked for snow fencing. Sometimes it's put up, but it's put up totally incorrectly. It's trying to protect the path, and instead of diverting the wind and the sand from the path. So they line it up, the wind comes in, fills up the path again, and even gets higher. And I'm also tired of comparing the bay to the ocean. We hear that all the time. We need the studies on the bay. When that north wind blows, believe me, the sand blows, and it stacks up, and it fills everything. We need a totally, totally different approach if we're going to do this, especially with gravel. And I've seen the roll-up things, and I've seen them get covered up in a short amount of time. When I think the sand fencing could be put at the entrance down on the beach to kind of divert the sand away. 8 feet wide, I don't even know how that's going to be able to be done at springtime. And not only that, the storm drains have to be cleaned all the time because the sand blows out, they fill up with leaves. So we know that have another expense, problem there. Mr. Mayor, I totally agree with you that the two things have to be separated. We need more discussion on that. I don't see any reason to hang up the permit for the beach. We obviously need that for many reasons, but I think we need a little more discussion. I just found out about this also and have been a resident taxpayer since '60s and live on the beach, and as do many other people. We're spending a lot of money again, and we just need input. We need input from the people. We have to see. I've seen that happen so many times with studies on the birds. When we had the engineering thing, I think the deputy mayor knows what we went through, what we discussed with the Corps of Engineers when they tried to sell us the piping plover scam. There's never been piping plovers over there. It's the same thing again. We have these people coming in from the outside that have no understanding of what happens on the bay side. We have all the understanding of what happens on the ocean side. This is a totally, totally different environment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill Greenfield, Villas. I'm glad to hear they're going to be upgrading the beach access in the Villas because we've been overlooked for far too long. I was talking to Tom about that before the meeting. Whether gravel's the best answer or not, I don't know. I don't really have a preference, but maybe you could think about, it's not going to be feasible at every street end, but maybe it's like the ramps like they have in Cape May going down. That's going to be more money, of course, and probably more engineering, but you might be able to do that in a few spots, where the slope is right. Like I said, if they're going to upgrade the things in the villas, then I'm all for it. So, okay, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? This gentleman here.
Good evening, Robert Rizzo, Mickles Run. I'd just like to say this. Separate the two things right now. You need the thing, the permit, get that done. Do the rest in 2 weeks. Give the people who live along the beach, and I do not, a chance to come in and make comments. Do the right thing. Don't push this in tonight. Would you like to say something, Mr. You're my representative, sir. Would you like to make a comment about it?
I'm listening to the professionals and I'm listening to the people and what they have to say. That's what I was elected to do up here.
Well, everyone else has made a comment. You haven't made one as yet. But
Well,
please.
I'm going to hear everybody out first before I make my comment. Is that all right?
Thank you.
That's why I'm listening to you, so go ahead.
Please, week, 2 weeks, do what you have to do tonight. Save the rest for 2 weeks. Give the residents a chance to come in and make their comments. Thank you.
Anybody else? We got two waiting.
Gary Douglas, Irma section. The only thing Mr. Rizzo made a point, he said, give the people along the beachfront their comment. I think that beachfront's owned by Lower Township, isn't it?
I understand.
So it's for everybody, not just the people on the beachfront.
Thank you.
Steve Morey, Irma, also with Hatchmont McDonald. I won't get into the detail of what we're going to study and what we need to do to design the new beach paths, but I just wanted to talk about the timing issue, and we can't really separate the two issues because we don't have a beach maintenance permit now, which is typically a general permit. The township also does not have a municipal public access plan to date. And because we don't have one, we can't submit for a general permit for beach maintenance. So in speaking with the DEP, we were advised that come in for the individual permit for the beach maintenance and include these beach paths, because we're also going to, we're going to be designing these beach paths, doing some grading and major improvements to some of them not so major. So we tried to save the township money and include both of these in one permit application. We don't want to come in, we could do it if you want to do it that way, but then we're doing two separate permit applications and they won't track the same, and it'll cost more because we have to do double the work. So I just wanted to let you know that. And these beach paths, the typical cross-section of the beach path is what the Army Corps uses when they do beach maintenance projects. So this is something that's standard in the industry for beaches, whether it's on the bay or the ocean. And we're certainly we have to do topographic surveys. We're going to look at each one of the accesses. They're not all going to be cookie cutter. They're going to be as close as we can to make a standard improvement. But if some of them want to be a little narrower, the reason that I believe that we were asked to propose 8 foot wide is because that makes, with the split rail fence, that would make easier beach maintenance for like a little bobcat or something to scrape that or level it out and maintain it. That's why they went a little wider. But in some areas, if they're shorter and less used, we could, we're going to work it out. It's not going to be the same all the way across. So,
Mr. Morey, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you're applying for the permit, are you applying for a specific solution that would include the gravel bed and the 8 foot wide? And I mean, is that what you're getting
when we do our topographic survey,
Yeah.
we're going to look at them, and whatever we come up with for those 30 beach access is what we're going to put into a permit application. And the public will have its comment. You can ask us to come in. You can have us do a draft plan, come in for the township.
Real quick, the gravel base, I now understand it's basically trap stone to give support for the pathways for vehicles. It's not going to be
gravel. Is
It can get
stone.
covered with
This
sand,
is-
no big
this
deal.
This is a rolled it's like a DGA, like a road base. When you see a road base, it's smooth, it's rolled, and it's flat.
It packs it for the vehicles to
And,
get
you know,
safely.
and if
and
you've
keep-
seen, you know, senior citizens trying to climb up some of these beach paths, and it's a struggle with little kids, and, you know, this is an easier for rolling, you know, rolling carts, anything, it's easier to transfer, you know, pedestrians and whatever you're carrying up these, some of these steeper slopes, we may wrap them, so they're longer and less steep, and there's things we're trying to do to make them better. Each one's gonna have a little bit of its own personality, and we're gonna have to try to fix it.
And the
Steve,
split
what's the time frame on this? I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh, go ahead.
What's the time frame? Because what I'm looking at is I'm trying to find a way that we can all compromise on this.
Yeah.
If you give me a meeting here with the public and the manager and everybody here agrees to that, then okay, well, you know, I could possibly move forward with this. But I need to have the public input. At some point in time, they got to have the ability to come in here, and certainly tonight doesn't count. I mean, they have to know in advance.
Tonight isn't us presenting a design, it's just the borough, we were asked to do a proposal, and we submitted a proposal to start
get
doing
that.
our work. We haven't done our work yet.
Well, I know that, but if we approve this tonight, then you'll begin the process, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when would your company or you or whoever be able to come in here? At what point and say, well, this is what we want to do, and show it to the people, which is no different than they're doing
I'd like to get the
now.
application out ASAP, because I know I want to get the beach maintenance permit in place.
Well, this is the final draft, not the draft, not the application
I know,
to go in.
I'm talking
but
about, I'm thinking this all is together.
It'll be at least a month.
We're not going to spend, you know, we're going to try to get this
And
done ASAP,
there won't be one grain of sand moved. There won't be anything done until
do
the
anything
public
without
has a
permits.
chance to come in and comment on
Can't
this.
do anything without
Yeah, that's what we said earlier.
Okay, so, excuse me. I'm just saying that I think that in that case, you know, people have to come in here. They have to come and voice their concerns if they're going to do that.
That's fine. I'd rather have that than go to a public comment period with a DEP when the application's in, and then everybody's sending letters to the DEP. Let's do it right here.
Yeah, and that's what I think that
That's
makes
a smart
sense.
thing to do. Get the
But I
support
mean,
for the
you know,
application before it even
and like I
goes up.
said, my question is the ability of the public to have input. And I just didn't see us moving ahead tonight, but however, there's a choke point. There's a point at which they can come in here and have their day in court.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess,
I-
and when would that be? Now you're saying
That's what
maybe
I
a
was just
month?
going to say, you know,
A month?
the second meeting in January or something like that, we can try to do that.
Okay.
And if I find we're tracking quicker or not that fast,
well,
then we'll do it the first meeting.
I would
in February or
appreciate your
something like
staying in
that.
touch with the manager so we can announce it at a meeting. So we don't just put it on an agenda, but we can say, okay, the next meeting will be the meeting that it's done so that the press can get it out there. And if people want to come, if nobody comes, that's fine. If people come, that's fine. I'm just saying that you can't expect the public to ferret these things out sometimes on an agenda that gets published on a Thursday night or Friday. And if they don't see it, they don't know about it.
Steve made a really good point. They're going to get a chance to weigh in when the DEP comes in. So it's better to do it now. That's a really good point.
I'd rather have a good application that is not going to get negative comment once it gets to the DEP.
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't do anybody any good.
Now,
Thank you.
No, all right. The split, Steve. Just because, I was trying to ask a question. Split rail fence is not for dune retention, it's to keep the people off the dunes more or less, to try to keep them guided.
Yes, it's try to make a common demarcation of the beach access so people know that that's the beach access. We've had many issues
Where they're just wandering off
little
and heading
pieces of
across
fence,
it.
we have beach access paths with sign that say closed, and I'll show many photographs of the dunes totally getting trampled. You know, we fixed Whittier Avenue last summer, and we actually transplanted the beach grass from the sides of that because we made it a little wider, and we transplanted the beach grass over where they were walking, and you know, they walked, it got trampled. So, you know, we're just trying to keep people where they need to be on the dunes to protect the dunes. This is dune protection is what it is, and pedestrian access.
Okay, thank you.
One more comment here.
Janet Pitts, the Villas. I have a concern with this in that there's not going to be any uniformity. Actually, I like uniformity, and I'll tell you why. I think a lot of times the Villas is considered like the red-headed stepchild of Lower Township. My point being, I don't have any physical disabilities. I walk the beach frequently. However, without saying where I live, I happen to have a person who lives on my street who is handicapped, who frequently walks his little dog on the beach. And I had for years, of which I've given up, asked for a bench to be installed, because by the time he walks to the bay, he is totally wiped out and very tired. And I would like him to be able to rest with his dog for a few minutes. He cannot do the dune, he cannot do the path, because he cannot walk in the sand. But like I said, I didn't want to bring it up at council meeting. I hope he doesn't see this, and I apologize if I'm embarrassing him for this. However, there is plenty of benches throughout Lower Township beaches. I just wanted one more for my street for this gentleman, not for myself. And like I said, I couldn't get it. I tried to do it without going in a public meeting. I was told my street is too narrow, which is not true, as Tom will tell you. It's one of the widest, if not the widest, in all. And to this day, I don't have this bench for him. So when you say there is no uniformity, not going to be uniformity, we don't have roll-up ramps in the villas, to my knowledge, on any beach access. What I see is the villas getting short-sheeted, as they typically do. And if the public can have any comment on it, this is my comment. I couldn't get a bench. I probably won't be able to get this access for this gentleman for as long as he can walk to the beach. I just want you to bear that in mind. I think it's just fair if everybody's treated the same, everybody gets the same opportunity, everybody enjoys the beach.
What I'm looking at is this being the first step, because I do want to get, there's some spots, I want benches. We have a few benches in the villas, not many, but we also want to get some trash cans down there, because that'll help clean up the beach if we have the trash cans down there. If we get these access points, that's opening up and showing the people, finally, we're getting something out of this. For the past year, we've been hearing about North Cape May access and different parts about that. The villas is getting their access points. They're going to be safer.
Okay.
And for people to get there. And let's get some benches down there and some trash cans. We should have them.
And can I put in a special request for one of those ramps?
If it's one of our
if you're gonna
access
do it?
points, yeah.
I mean, I realize some
I can't
streets
say
maybe
definitely
too now.
I have to see which ones are access points, but that'll come up in the plan. I'm sure they're going to name every street and all that stuff.
And then I have one other question. If you do this 8-foot access, what's going to stop people from driving their cars down there? Or
That
you know
will
what
be,
I
I'm
mean?
sure, addressed in some nature, but that's...
Ticket.
Right now, I've had people take those 2-foot... I remember going to a scene where some guy went up and over the dune in a car and put his car in the bay. Nothing's going to stop them.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address council?
Eileen Kreis-Villas. I just want to say that I support the beach accesses along the bay and uniformly, and I definitely support them in the villas. I know where I access the beach, the paths are so narrow. There's poison ivy and stickers and thorns and everything that just comes right into our path. So to have them widened and make the access easier would really be appreciated. And a comment was made a little while ago regarding how many people have been hurt on the bay or how many rescues or responses had to be on the bay. Hopefully none. But if there happens to be one, I want to be able to know that someone's going to be able to get to that person and help them. One is too many, and that's not a good enough reason to use as an example as to why we need to have this taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Close the public portion. Okay. Council?
I'll make my comment now. So we've listened to our head of Public Works recommend this. We've listened to members of the Rec Advisory Board recommend this. listen to the engineering, a member of, or a representative from the engineering company, I would say. But the most important piece is the fact that the DEP, which we all know is, can be difficult at times, has recommended this. The fact that this is not a final design, and that the public will have a chance to have their say on the final design, I think that we should move forward with this resolution. Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. And
Regular agenda?
Go ahead.
Resolution number 2015-358. This is a person-to-person transfer of liquor license number 0505-33-012009 from Harborside, Inc. to Gel Liquor Limited Liability Company. This request has been advertised and no objections have been filed.
Council comments? Comments from the public? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
This is the resolution number 2015-359, authorization for the 2015 incentive awards for insurance waivers. This total amount is $62,749.99.
Council comments? Public comment? Close the public portion. Motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Abstain.
Which, 359?
Yes.
Yeah. Abstain, sorry.
Sorry. Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2015-360. This is authorization for the payment of college credits in the amount of $21,700.
Okay. Council comments? Any public comments? College credits?
It's
Yes.
Yeah, it's a whole, there's a whole list of people.
collective bargaining.
All right. Okay. And for the record, that was Tom Frizzoli from the Villas. Okay. Okay, is there any public comments? All right. Close public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Abstain.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution 2015-361. This is the authorization for the payout of accumulated compensatory time. This is for M. Perry in the amount of $4,408.19.
Council comments? Public comment? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Abstain.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. So that move down to council comments.
Mayor, may I weigh in here?
Go ahead.
This week, we received a notice from the governor's office in Trenton, and it was very good news for Lower Township. When the Roseanne project started, and a few of the people that are in the audience asked questions concerning grants, bonding, and how we were going to pay for it, we applied for 2 grants. We were the only municipality in Cape May County to receive 2 of Governor Christie's grants totaling $550,000 towards that project. And our grants coordinator, Colleen Crippen, gets a ton of credit for that. So, job well done, Colleen.
All right, Tom?
Thank you. Got a lot going on this time of year. I'm not feeling that great, so I'm going to try to keep it short. A lot of great events going on free to the public. We had the West Cape May Parade, which is not ours, but this weekend we do have the Lower Township, which is North Cape May. Cold Spring Village last weekend had Wassail Day, which is a wonderful little free event at Cold Spring Village. You got the tour of the event, and you can make ornaments. They had a lot of neat things going on. Look around. There's a lot of good things going on. The Chamber did their hospitality, Day of Hospitality. That's what it's called this year. Last Friday, well attended. Everyone had a good time, but everyone's having a good time. Remember those that are a little less fortunate. There's a lot of food and toy drives going on for those that are less fortunate. If you even chip in a little bit, it's going to help them at this time of year. It's a bad time. The weather's getting bad, temperature's down. We don't do heating assistance, but a little food, something for Christmas for the kids, that helps a lot.
Most of my comments have already been taken up, especially with the township receiving the grants for the Roseanne Avenue, or actually the Bayshore Estates track. A lot of work went into that to get the information and get it out there and get everything filed. And again, the grants coordinator is to be commended on nice job for getting those grants for us, and the project is rolling along.
Yes, definitely ditto to that. Congrats to Colleen and her work. Also want to reiterate what a woman said earlier about, remembering our veterans who have served and are serving, especially on this day in history. Other things in our township, the connection of the bike path to Middle Township, I know got one step closer to being done this week, and just want to thank everyone involved. I know it's been a long road for many reasons, but it's getting done thanks to, I know Steve Morey had a lot to do with it, Mr. Ridgway, and Open Spaces, Middle Township, obviously, and our Public Works Department. Along with that, we hope to see in the future a connection with the municipalities of Cape May, West Cape May, and Cape May Point, in a partnership with them that will be grant funded as well. So hopefully we'll see that moving along in the near future. This Tuesday, which is tomorrow evening, there's a very important presentation at the Lower Cape May Regional Performing Arts Center. There will be a presentation called Teens and Social Media, which is a dilemma in not just our community, but all over the country, with teens in the use of social media, whether it be cell phones, Facebook, Twitter, every type of social media there is, sexting. These will all be addressed by the prosecutor's office, as well as our school resource officer, Officer Bill Barkus. It begins at 6 p.m. Again, tomorrow evening. Any parents, if you can get there, it will be worth your while. It affects everyone. Wednesday night, also at the PAC Center. It's a busy night over there. It's a beautiful performing arts center. If you've never been, get out and listen to some holiday music. Lower Township will have their concert on Wednesday evening of this week, the 9th. Thursday evening, the 10th, is Richard M. Titleman School. And next Thursday, the 17th, is Lower Cape May Regional Zone Band and Choir. These will take place at 7 p.m., the concerts. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Also want to echo the sentiments of gratitude. I appreciate what the lady mentioned earlier about remembering our servicemen and women. And also in times like this, when most of us are now, wherever we go, are looking over our shoulder wondering, is it safe? I mean, we're living in a different world, and the police officers that look after us are living in a different world as well. So I just wanted to bring that up and express our gratitude to them, because it's their job seems to be getting more dangerous as we go forward.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
He has the manager.
Yes, sir.
Tie into that, what you just said.
This Wednesday, to echo what the deputy mayor is stating, our local chamber, Lower Township Chamber, along with Uncle Bill's, is having a appreciation breakfast for all our police officers from 8 to 9:30 in the morning. So folks that are out and about, you want to stop and say Merry Christmas to one of our people who have done a great job this year, it would be a nice time to do that.
What
And
day?
sorry for cutting you
No,
off.
that's good.
Wednesday.
This Wednesday. Okay, great. Thanks for bringing.
8 to 9:30.
And that's a good way to end it. Thank you. Pancakes. All right, here we go. And Colleen, thanks. Go out and get some more of that tree. The Grant tree out back we have growing out there. Good job, though. December 12th, which is Saturday, the parade starts at 7 p.m. Breakwater and Bayshore. It ends down at Rose Hill Parkway. On the 12th, which is part of the theme that we're addressing here, at 12 noon at Cold Spring Cemetery, you have Wreaths Across America, which is a program that's been growing in stature over the past few years, where they, and I think that it was in the news where they ran out of wreaths for the Arlington Cemetery, and they had to bring in some from up in Maine. But they place a wreath at all of the veterans' grave sites. So they have a ceremony at Cold Spring Cemetery at 12 noon this Saturday, in case you can make that. Friday, December 18th, I like this, free teen program. Does that mean we're giving away teens? And as somebody who raised them, I would understand that, It's a free program for teens, instructional canvas painting at the Millman Center. That's Friday the 18th, from 6:30 to 8:30. Contact the rec department to register. That's a good deal. And then Saturday, December 19th, is another program which is free. It's the original Star Wars movie at the rec center for students 7th, 8th, and 9th grade of Titleman and the high school, Lower Township residents. That's on the 19th. And I don't see a time on that. So I assume it's in the evening. Yeah. But if you're interested, you could call Town Hall and find out. Then on the 20th, you have Ferry Merry Christmas at the ferry terminal. That's 12 to 3 o'clock. That's always a good one. And then on December 31st, Thursday, you have the New Year's Eve party at the rec center from 6 to 9, which is always a fabulous treat. And with that being said, we open it up to public comment if you wish to address council.
7 o'clock for the
7 o'clock for the flick? Okay. Okay, does anybody wish to address council? I'll close the public portion. That works.
Resolution number 2015-362, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. This is to discuss contract negotiations, litigation, and possible litigation updates.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.